Jessica Monroe's disappearance wasn't an accident. The shallow grave, the necklace, the VHS tapes, and then an even more disturbing discovery. One of the hidden cameras used to record those tapes had been ordered years earlier, shipped not to Tyler Graves, not to some random address, but to a home just 2 blocks from Jessica's childhood house. The name on that order is still under seal, but according to investigators, it isn't Tyler, which means Jessica may have been targeted long before the camping trip ever began. By late 2022, prosecutors requested that the shipping records remain sealed. They argued releasing the name could compromise an active investigation, but local journalists digging through property records uncovered something chilling. The house the cameras were shipped to once belonged to a man named Eric Dalton. Eric wasn't a stranger. He grew up in Conway, went to the same high school as Jessica, lived on the very same street. And back in 2009, when Jessica was just 16, Eric had been accused of stalking another teenage girl in the neighborhood. The case was quietly dropped. So how did Eric Dalton connect to Tyler Graves? Phone records revealed that in 2018, the year Jessica met Tyler, Eric and Tyler exchanged dozens of calls, some lasting minutes, others hours. What were they planning? Detectives theorized that Eric may have used Tyler to get close to Jessica. Tyler, the controlling boyfriend. Eric, the man in the shadows. Together, they fit the profile of a predatory partnership. Neighbors recalled seeing Eric's truck parked near Jessica's home in the months leading up to her disappearance. One woman said, "He'd just sit there, lights off, no movement, like he was watching something." Another neighbor remembered Eric showing up at a local hardware store, buying tarps, duct tape, and rope just weeks before Jessica's camping trip. Items hauntingly similar to what was found in the shallow grave. In March 2023, investigators made another breakthrough. During a renewed search of the Ozark forest, cadaver dogs alerted to a second site this time, a much deeper grave. Inside, they found partial remains. Female, likely mid-20s. Next to the body was a driver's license. It belonged to Rachel Kane, the young woman who vanished in 2011. Now the pattern was undeniable. Jessica wasn't the first, and she might not be the last. For Jessica's mother, the discovery was devastating. She told reporters, "Every time they find another woman, I wonder if it's her. I almost wish it was, just so we could bring her home. But then I realize if it's not, that means she's still out there somewhere. And that's worse." By June 2023, law enforcement had enough evidence to bring Eric Dalton in for questioning. But when deputies arrived at his home in Conway, Eric was gone. His truck abandoned at a rest stop off Interstate 40. Inside, they found camping gear, a map of the Ozark forest, and a knife with traces of blood that is yet to be fully identified. Eric Dalton had vanished. In August 2023, a new piece of evidence surfaced. A fisherman on the Arkansas River reeled in something tangled in his line, a waterproof bag. Inside, a woman's shoe, size 7, matching Jessica's. And next to it, a videotape. On that tape is a woman's voice, weak, trembling, saying just one sentence: "Please tell my mom I didn't run away." The face is blurred, the location unclear, but investigators believe it could be Jessica. If true, it means she may have been alive long after Tyler's arrest, and if Eric Dalton is still out there, she might not be the only one. The truth is closing in. The sealed records, the second grave, Eric Dalton's disappearance, it all points to something larger. Was Jessica just one victim in a string of disappearances? And could she still be alive somewhere? A shallow grave, a necklace, a second man, and then a videotape pulled from the Arkansas River. On it, a woman's trembling voice whispered, "Please tell my mom I didn't run away." Investigators believed it could be Jessica Monroe, but was it proof she was alive, or a cruel reminder of what she'd endured? Forensic experts studied the VHS tape found inside the waterproof bag. The background revealed subtle clues: corrugated steel walls, a single dangling light bulb, and the faint sound of trains passing in the distance. By comparing those sounds with local rail schedules, detectives narrowed the location to an abandoned farm shed near Russellville, Arkansas, less than 30 miles from where Jessica vanished. But when officers raided the site, the shed was empty. Dust, ropes, and faint traces of blood. Jessica was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, the search for Eric Dalton escalated into a full-blown manhunt. Tips placed him across Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Witnesses reported seeing a man resembling him hitchhiking near highways, lurking at truck stops, even camping deep in wooded areas. One camper recalled, "He asked if I had duct tape, said his tent tore, but the way he asked it didn't feel right. I told him no and packed up right away." Dalton seemed to be living off the grid, and each day he remained free was another day Jessica's family feared they might never know the truth. On November 19, 2023, hunters near the Ozark National Forest reported finding a small cabin padlocked from the outside. When deputies forced their way in, they found a horrifying scene. Inside were multiple personal items, purses, clothing, driver's licenses from missing women, and pinned to the wall photographs, dozens of them. Some of the women investigators recognized, others still unidentified. At the center of the display was a single photo of Jessica, smiling, carefree, taken years before her disappearance, but she wasn't in the cabin. Weeks later, on December 2, 2023, a tip from a truck driver led officers to a cave system along the Mulberry River. There, in the cold darkness, they found human remains. Dental records confirmed it. Jessica Monroe. She had been buried beneath layers of stone, hidden for over 4 years. Alongside her body were fragments of rope, duct tape, and the remains of a second videotape too damaged to recover fully. But one thing was clear. Jessica had never run away. She had fought, endured, and ultimately been silenced. On January 8, 2024, Eric Dalton was captured in Oklahoma City after attempting to shoplift supplies from a convenience store. In custody, he offered no remorse. Investigators tied him to at least 3 other disappearances, including Rachel Kane and Lacey Brown. In June 2024, Dalton was convicted on multiple counts of murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. For Jessica's family, it wasn't enough, but it was something. Her sister Emily said in court, "We waited 4 years for answers. Today we finally know. Jessica didn't run. She didn't abandon us. She was taken. And now, the people who did it can never hurt anyone else." Jessica Monroe's story left a lasting mark. Her family expanded the Jessica Monroe Foundation, focusing on domestic violence prevention, missing persons advocacy, and women's safety in outdoor spaces. In Arkansas, new legislation was introduced requiring law enforcement to create a centralized database for unsolved missing persons cases, so patterns like Tyler and Eric's wouldn't be overlooked again. And for countless families of missing women, Jessica's case brought renewed hope that their loved ones' stories might still find justice. Jessica went on a camping trip expecting peace, nature, and starlight. Instead, she became the victim of a calculated partnership between 2 predators. But she left behind more than tragedy. She left behind a voice that, even on that tape, whispered the truth. She didn't run. She didn't give up. She was taken. And because of that truth, she gave others the courage to keep fighting for answers. Jessica's story is heartbreaking, but it's also a warning. Always trust your instincts. Listen to the red flags. And never let anyone dismiss your fear as paranoia. If you or someone you know is in an unsafe relationship, resources are available. I'll leave links in the description. Thank you for following Jessica's journey with us. If her story moved you, share this video to keep her voice alive. Comment your thoughts below and subscribe for more true crime stories that deserve to be told. Because justice isn't just about one case. It's about all the voices still waiting to be heard.